Hello and welcome. Today, we're going to take a look at what is arguably the most spectacular commercial airport in the world.
Terrain ahead, pull up. Terrain ahead, pull up.
We want to find out if it's possible for an amateur to perform the most dangerous landing approaches using Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Speed.
Welcome to the hidden kingdom of Bhutan, nestled in the peaks of the Eastern Himalayas between India and China. With just 700,000 people, Bhutan is considered one of the most sparsely populated countries in the world. Bhutan is the only climate-neutral country in the world. It is home to the highest unclimbed mountain in the world, Gangkhar Puensum, at 7,500 meters. But Bhutan measures its wealth not in money, but in happiness. Gross national happiness is the law here. Despite little money, the happiest people live there. Modern architecture is absent. All buildings must adhere to traditional designs with painted wooden facades and Buddhist motifs. Cheap mass tourism is also absent. Tourists pay a daily fee of up to $200, which covers accommodation, transportation, and guides. An untouched piece of paradise. Here, we find the most dangerous and one of the most impressive international airports in the world. Surrounded by high mountains, Paro International Airport lies in the picturesque Paro Valley at an altitude of 2,300 meters. The airport connects Bhutan with countries such as India, Nepal, and Thailand. Since 1968, it has been the gateway to Bhutan's unique culture and landscape. The airport handles approximately 200,000 passengers annually. The terminals are designed in traditional Bhutanese style, with ornate woodwork and Buddhist motifs. In Microsoft Flight Simulator, it's a hand-built airport, which is pretty close to reality. But why is the airport so famous? And what makes it so spectacular and dangerous? Paro is considered dangerous due to its high elevation of 7,300 feet, which reduces air density and complicates aircraft performance. The runway, at 7,500 feet, is short compared to other international airports, leaving little room for maneuver. The approaches to Paro International Airport are considered one of the greatest challenges for pilots worldwide. The approach requires a series of complex turns to avoid obstacles, which is only possible in daylight and good visibility conditions. For runway 15, the approach begins with a steep descent over the Paro Valley, while runway 33 requires a sharp turn near the mountains. Only specially trained pilots, often fewer than a dozen worldwide, are certified to conduct these approaches. Weather-related turbulence and sudden wind changes make the approaches even more risky. Every flight requires utmost concentration.
Terrain ahead, pull up. Terrain ahead, pull up.
On YouTube, we find fantastic footage showing the daring and spectacular approach to Paro. Without autopilot, they maneuver the Airbus airliner precisely between the mountain ranges. Incredible, and great respect to these pilots. But as absolute amateurs, can we recreate this flight in a flight simulator? To do this, we researched the only airline that offers these flights. On the Drukare website, we look for a short scheduled flight to Paro Airport. And indeed, the airline flies regularly from Kathmandu to Bhutan, a short trip that we can simulate.
500.
Let's start our flight planning. We'll use the free website simbrief.com. We'll create a new flight plan and enter the route from Kathmandu to Bhutan. We'll use an Airbus A320 as the aircraft model and runway 15 as the arrival, which is likely the most difficult approach. We click on Analyze Route and the RNAV approach is even available. Now click on Generate Flight and that's it. Simbrief also shows us the live weather data. Luckily, the weather seems to be perfect as we approach Paro. The flight simulator has started, and we're off to Kathmandu. Tribhuvan International Airport is Nepal's only international airport. 7 million passengers are transported here annually, and at over 4,000 feet altitude, it's a very demanding airport. Luckily for us, we found a free scenery for him in Flight Sim TO. I'll include the link in the video description. We board the Airbus, a little shaky. First, we power it up and begin preparing for the flight. Using the pad, we load the entire flight from Simbrief into the avionics. There are different types of A320 in the flight simulator. We're using the free one from Fly-by-Wire. It's well simulated, and most importantly, it's free. Let's hope it gets us safely to Paro.
Requesting pushback.
Buddha Air _N171. Pushback request accepted.
N171 requesting the end of pushback.
Buddha Air _N171. Request to end pushback received.
Time to call the passengers for boarding. I hope they have their anti-flight pills with them. I think they'll need them. While the passengers board, we prepare our onboard computer. Since everything is handled automatically by Simbrief, it's relatively easy. Get taxi clearance from the tower, and we're ready for pushback and taxi. The weather is clearing up now, which should give us a nice view of Kathmandu upon takeoff.
For myself, your captain, the first officer and cabin crew, I'd like to take this time to welcome you aboard our flight. We're just wrapping up some paperwork up front here and waiting to receive final numbers from the ground crew, then we'll be on our way. Flight attendants will be coming through the cabin shortly with a very important safety briefing. We do ask that you give them your full, undivided attention as they review the safety operations of this Airbus aircraft. We do appreciate your business having you aboard this flight. If there's anything we do to make your flight any more enjoyable, please don't hesitate to ask. Welcome aboard.
West, inbound RNAV runway 20 approach.
Departure checks completed. Bypass pin inserted.
QNH 1014, cleared RNAV runway.
Silent 3, Pushman, 300.225.
Release parking brakes, please. Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
Bar departure, runway 20.
Yeti Airlines are in 57 tree, QNH 101 tree. Cleared for takeoff, runway 20.
In case any items fall out. Also, use the space under the seat in front of you for stowing your carry-on baggage. Please fasten your seatbelt and check that it is tight. To unfasten your seatbelt, simply pull up the flap. As turbulence can occur unexpectedly at any time, you are required to
American attention, 7 coming off the land, down to US, going to the next.
Spirit 267, Terra 17 right, change to Mike.
slides which you can use to leave the aircraft in an emergency. Leave your hand luggage on board. In the unlikely event of a loss in cabin pressure, oxygen masks will automatically drop from the panel above you. Pull the mask.
Calling Simbrief, Charlie Sierra, Charlie Tree 6. QNH 101 tree, straight out departure approved. Cleared for takeoff, runway 20.
Eagles running 1 heavy, cross 25 left of Foxtrot, cross 25 right, Toronto Bravo. Cut the XU down slope. Right, cross 25 left of Foxtrot, cross 25 right at Bravo, right now, Bravo.
Tower 101, wind 070 degrees, 10 knots, runway 08 left, clear for takeoff, good luck.
Clear for takeoff 08, Oscar. 10, thank you, bye.
Cathay 3281 heavy, adhere, Travis, exiting downfield, opposite direction, Tribhuvan, north side, 25 left, miles away. 5 left, line up from right,
Beads of sweat on our foreheads, but the takeoff was successful. With a magnificent view of Kathmandu, the largest city in Nepal, with almost 2 million inhabitants, we begin our climb.
08, Kathmandu Tower. QNH 101 tree. Cleared RNAV runway 20 approach.
Perfect. As a complete novice, I managed to get the Airbus into the air, and we're approaching cruising altitude. So far, the passengers seem very relaxed. Time to take a quick look at the flight plan. Our flight from Kathmandu to Bhutan is a very short one, covering 250 miles and taking about 45 minutes. However, we have a relatively high cruising altitude of 33,000 feet. The reason? We're flying over the roof of the world, directly past the highest mountains in the world. This should give us a fantastic view. Our unsuspecting passengers enjoy a fantastic view of the world's most impressive landscapes. To ease their fear of flying a little, especially since today's pilot is a complete amateur, the flight attendants will serve a little more alcohol than usual. But what awaits us in Paro? Can we manage what is probably the most difficult approach in the flight simulator? Let's take a quick look at the approach to runway 15 in Paro. Five minutes before landing, we'll be about 10 miles northwest of the airport at an altitude of around 14,000 feet. This should be easy, as the autopilot will take us there automatically. From then on, the adventure begins. We'll deactivate the autopilot and glide into the Paro Valley, nestled between mountains rising up to 18,000 feet. We'll follow the winding course of the Paro Chu River, which serves as a natural guide for the approach at a maximum speed of 150 knots. The first sharp turns of the approach path will appear ahead. 2 minutes before landing, we'll descend to about 9,000 feet, just above the airport's altitude. We'll now navigate the final tight turn in the valley, a right turn that aligns the aircraft precisely with the threshold of runway 15. The mountains seem close enough to touch. The wingtips look as if they could touch the slopes. The aircraft is flying at an altitude of about 400 feet above the ground, traveling at 130 knots. In front of us rises the infamous hill, located directly in front of the threshold of runway 15. It acts like a wall blocking access to the runway. At this moment, the aircraft clears the hill with only a few meters of clearance. We now have to precisely level and stabilize the aircraft just before the runway. We only have a few seconds to do this, and no room for error.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear guests, as you heard from the cockpit, we are already on our approach.
We're now a few miles from the top of Decent Point. Things get exciting from here on out as we begin our descent toward the most dangerous airport in the world. We also activate the APU as a backup. If something goes wrong, such as an engine failure, we still have power. Ten minutes later, we reach the Paro Valley and begin a steep descent. The river that shapes the valley, and which we follow on our approach, is called Pa Chu. Since we have good visibility, we use it as a guide. From now on, the most dangerous phase begins. We prepare the Airbus for landing and continue to descend at a speed of approximately 150 knots. The autopilot is no longer of any help here. We have to perform the final turns manually. The Rinpung Dzong Monastery comes into view. The final right turn is particularly critical. At low altitude, just past the mountain, we then try to align ourselves with the runway.
Retard.
It wasn't a perfect landing. The high rate of descent made it incredibly difficult to flare the Airbus. It felt more like an impact than a landing. But everyone survived despite slight neck pain, so I consider it a success. This flight in the new flight simulator was fun, and we get a glimpse into the fantastic work these pilots do every day. What about you? Have you already completed the approach to Paro Airport? Let us know in the comments. A big thank you for watching. I hope it wasn't too boring. As always, I wish you a great week and a safe landing anytime. See you next time.